Today we're going to be looking at the Digital Theological Library, seeing how you can research books, articles, and be able to log on to it and establish a bibliography to help you out. So let's begin by going to Populi NSBT, our login. Put in your username and password as normal. You'll come to the home page here. You can go into your courses. One thing you always will find that whatever page you are on in the New School of Biblical Theology, you'll always have these four options up here, and you always have the library, and that's going to go with you in any course that you're in. Once you go here, you'll go to links, and here you'll have the different lists, the Digital Theological Library that we're going to look at today. You'll have tips on paper formatting and Chicago style. This is important for you. If you want to know more about the Chicago style basics, here are some articles that you could look at. Then this is another good one for those when you're looking at citation, a crash course on different citations and crafting a paper, the different components. There's 26 topics, and you can download them individually or all in one. And then there's video tutorials. But let's go to the Digital Theological Library. So if we log in, we go there. I want to show you how you can simply search here, put in the search of what you want to look for, or also you can go to how to use, and it tells you different ways of how to go about doing so. If you want to find a journal, building a bibliography, find a particular article, the quick search. But this window you'll find as you click on any of these, you'll find that basic search window, whether it's in any of these. So let's go ahead and start. Let's do Christian leaderships, and that's like you're doing a course on leadership now. We click on that, put a quick search. You'll notice it'll pull up the number of results. Here you have over 9,800 results. Look to your left, and it'll basically tell you this is in the Digital Theological Library, DTL. Here's the articles, the books, the amounts, and if you go further, you can see how many of those are downloadable, how many of those are ebooks, and so on and so forth. You can pick by publication year. You can find the full text, or those that you can access all the text, so you can click on that. If you do that, you'll notice it'll then condense the results to 8,000. Those are full text that you can see exactly the full text. When it's not full text, it'll have the combination of full text, meaning that you can read it online. But here you got 9,800, so that means that there'll be several. There'll be like you noticed about over 1,000 that are not accessible through the ebook or articles that are full text. So that's just an option. So look, when we did Christian leadership, you had these results, and you'll look through them. They're books, and you'll find articles. You can go specifically, if you want to just look at articles, you click on here. It'll go to articles for you as well. So that's really nice how you can do that. But it's kind of general still. Let's say you want to do church Christian leadership in the New Testament. You kind of want to condense it. You can do that as well. And then you'll see how your results considerably drop because you're being more specific to over 1,400 results. So let's say, for example, that you're doing research and looking at leadership in the New Testament. And here's one, the reception of the New Testament in the Apostolic Fathers. What's nice about here, you can go here and look at in specific if this is something that's pertaining to your research. You read here and then say, okay, this will be something that I want to utilize. So there's nice ways to do that. You'll see this my list. You can save it and say you want to look at this later, and it puts it to your list. You notice now you have a one item here. You can also email it to yourself or to somebody. You could also copy and paste a link to that. And this is a really nice thing that I think most of these sources will have is, so let's say you're writing a research and you need to cite it. All of a sudden you have here an option of selecting the style. We're doing Chicago, but we're doing notes bibliography. that's the one that you want to click on. If you choose that, all of a sudden, look what happens. It gives you the citing of how it needs to be cited. So you just simply copy and paste. You go ahead and copy this, and then if you had a document, you open your document, close that out, and let's say you paste it, and there you go. You have already the citation for you. So that's really helpful. So just wanted to show you those 4 buttons here. You save it. If you want to look at it later, email and cite. So let's say you wanted to go, how do I also want to see specifically that's a good book for myself? You can go into the book. Then you got to log in. As you know, you log into our school. Let's see, we are here. And then you log in, and then you're here. And once you're here, you can, how do I know if I want to use this book? I can look at the table of contents. And if I go here, I can click on there, and I can look specifically at the chapters, and that helps me determine whether this book is going to be helpful. So if you wanted to look at more specific within the book, you can go to table of contents and see exactly the different parts, of the book, and that's going to be helpful for you to determine. And another place is looking at the bibliography as well, because you can look at other books that come from that particular book. So that's one way to go ahead and do that. Let me go back to that result again. Let me just show you another thing here. So let's say with ProQuest, if it's a ProQuest result, because not all of them are, but some will be, what's really nice here is once you click in here, there's some books that might be related to it that you might want to take a look at as well. So this is a nice option because it also can give you additional sources that you might want to look at and click on these as well. That's a really nice feature there. So like this is the book that you wanted, but then all of a sudden you look that these also may be other in the same area. If you look at the titles, Ancient Letters and the New Testament. But we're doing leadership, so that might not help. But that's ways that you can find out if you want to look at the very see. That's also again, it might be relatable to your topic, and it might not. So that's another place to look. But I was going to also demonstrate to you that you can save this to a bookshelf. And so if you wanted to, I think I already saved this, so I can look at my bookshelf and I'll show you. I already put the title, and there it is. So I did save it. So this is like my bookshelf. I have a bookshelf. It's the files of research. I'm doing something on Ecuadorian Christianity for the 20th century. I'm going to be writing an article, so I've already began to put books here that I want to look at later. And then now here, New Testament leadership, I put that very book that we're looking at. So it's really nice that if it's a ProQuest result, you can also have a bookshelf feature for yourself as well here. So let me go back to where we were looking at this particular book. All right, here we are. Let me show you. So let's say you want to read it, right? And you want to read it online. What's really nice is, say you're working on this and you want to make a note. This is the note thing, and I already put one here. I actually just, let me see if I can look at that. I just did blah, blah, but say I wanted to say, title speaks to my topic, just as a note, or, I put it there. And I'm reading in the book itself. I can bookmark, you can bookmark it there. But what's really nice, I can also go to the table of contents. I'm doing it online, and let's say I can go here to part one, and all of a sudden I'm here, and I begin to read. Here we go. And then I'm reading here, and oh, I think this is something I want to look at closely, and I want to highlight this particular sentence. And I could do so. I could put a note right here. Here it is. Note. I can highlight. So I want to highlight it. I highlight it, and then let's say I do still want to add a note, and I add a note here. That will help me. I can add another note here. Look at this closely, and then I'd save it, and I have a note there as well. So I can put it on a page or here where I highlight it. So when I wanted to show you the feature as you're reading online, you can write yourself notes as well. You can also make it larger, if you need it. I think you can move this. No, I mean you can move obviously this over, and you make it larger for yourself to be able to read, and that's just a nice feature. If you need the font to be larger, you can make it smaller as well. So I wanted to show you that as you're looking at the library. Let's go back to the results. So like I said, I had this one book. Say I'm looking at Modeling Christianity, Social Science, New Text, and the Emergence of Christian Movement in the 19th century. No, I'm looking in the early, beginning of the New Testament, Four Gospels, New Testament, Reformed Christian Worship. Oh, look at here, Pauline Theology of Church Leadership. Ooh, that looks really good. It really does apply. I can read more, and I'm looking, and I said, oh yes, this is definitely a book I want. Click it there. I keep looking. Let's say I look down here. I'm going to go to the next set of theology points, major Christian thoughts, 2 Corinthians, leadership, lifestyle, portrait of Paul. This is another one that I might want to look at because it's leadership and lifestyle. Portrait of Paul, save it there. Then let's see, Stewart leadership. Here's our text that you already have. Obviously, that's one that I can put there. Pastoral practice principles in the church and the New Testament were based on. Pastoral practice. That might be good. So I keep just looking closely. Look at this, a study of female headship in the Christian church during the 1st and 2nd century. Yes, I want that one for sure. And so on. So you can look, and now what I wanted to show you, say you've clicked on those and you want, all of a sudden, you've already built a list, a bibliography of books that you might want to look at closely that you will be able to do research. So that's really a nice feature for yourself to do, and then you can always go back to those books later. So that's really nice what DTL allows you to do. So let's look at, so I just did some books. Let's look at, you want to find articles, right? So let's do articles here. We'll click on articles. And here we go. You begin to see, look at this, the evolution of church leadership in New Testament and New Consensus. That's an article. I want to see what else. Yes, this will be definitely something that I can look at later. So I'm going to save this. Definitely, this is going to be helpful. And then I look at more. See what else. If there's any other articles that I want. Another article on secular Christian leadership in Corinth. Yes, this is definitely one that I can look at. Introduction process thought in New Testament exegesis. No, when second man takes lead. Reflections on Joseph. Paul Tarsus, their relationship in the New Testament. When the second man takes the lead, that might be good. When looking at Barnabas, and that whole aspect in those leadership styles. And let's see, 1 Corinthians, light of women in church leadership in Nigeria. That might be interesting to see how it is contextualized in Nigeria, but it's not in the New Testament. So, that might be something. Let me see what else. Turbulent Times, Golden Years, First 25 Years of the New Testament Society of South Africa. No, let's see. Office of Charisma and Early Christian Emphasis. That would be looking good. Okay, so let's stop there. Well, let me see. And I might get one more. Leadership Management Development, Ideology, and Early Christianity. Okay. So this just gives you an idea. Now, what I have, if you notice in my list of books, I have 6 books. And then I also have 5 articles. And I just did that in just a few minutes, if you noticed. So let me go back to our search. And that's simply just looking at Christian leadership in the New Testament on D2L. So that's how quickly you can access articles and books on D2L. So I wanted to show you. Let's see how, if you open one of these, how that works. One of the articles, basically, there we go. See how it pops it up for you. And what this allows you to do, you can download it as a PDF. You want to accept it. It opens it up as a PDF. And look at this, what I want to show you. It's really nice. And then you're here. Let's say you want to download this. You download it. And, you'll give it a title, New Testament Leadership. Well, let me look at something real quick. I want to see what it's about first. The Evolution of Church Leadership in New Testament. So let me do that. I want to make sure. Evolution of Church Leadership in New Testament. And then I'm saving it to my desktop. I save it. And I have it. So if I go to my desktop, I'll get to that. Let's see. There it is right here. I click open. What I wanted to show you, once I have it here in my viewer, close it out, and I'm looking at it, I can make it larger right here as I look at this so that I can read it. As large as I need it. It's a little bit too big. So I'm looking at, let's say I want to highlight this. Gives me an option to highlight. I can highlight, or it's going to highlight more than what I want. Let me see. Let's see. Here we go. Highlight. Okay. Let's see. I'm highlighting this. Highlight it. There I have it highlighted. And how do I do a note? I can also put myself a note. Oops, let's see. So you got to play with this. It's a little sensitive. And then you can go to Tools, Annotate. You can highlight at a text, right? All of a sudden, let me pull that up, and I can write myself a note here. And even I can make this smaller too. Let me see. I believe so. Let me go to the font size. See, I can make it smaller. That way I can write, I can write my note. I put it there, I can write myself a note. So that's nice that I can save it, right? I'll save that. And that's already in on that very article that I downloaded, I can write notes on it if I wanted to. So that's how I wanted to show you that this is where you would like to highlight it, right? You highlight it and then you press one of those, and then if you want to put, a note, you can go to Annotate, and you can add a rectangle, oval. I mean, these are actually, the text is where you want to, because these are just, if I want to do an oval, that just kind of highlights. Let's say I want to highlight just the article, I can change the color if I wanted to. So I mean, that's kind of things that you can do. But make sure you save it so it keeps it. So I just wanted to show you that. Those are some of the nice features on that. And that's what you're able to do on D2L by going to the search. You put in here your search topic. You want to try to get specific. so that it'll lead you to books that you can look at. Again, like I said, you want to make sure as you're looking at those sources, if you click on one of these, you want to look at if this is something that's going to be applicable to what you want. And then you decide whether you want to save it or not, email it, link it, and cite it. So just a little bit to help you at logging into D2L, finding your sources, books, articles, and this is a quick way to do so. You can save it on a list, you can write on the documents, and this is how you would like to find sources.